It's going. Woo, it's going. All right, it's going. Now where am I? It doesn't look like anyone's here. Am I on Facebook now? Probably all my people that were watching are like, I'm out. Hi again. Okay. You're all still here. Now I don't. There we go. I'm so bad at this. Okay. Let me just get right to it. I'm going to work on this star blanket pattern, and because I have a training this weekend, and then I'm going into surgery next week. I'm going to start traveling on Monday to get to surgery, etc. And gosh, okay, there's my hear my voice somewhere. Okay, and so I want to at least get the next few rounds of this star blanket tutorial going for those of you that need it. And yeah, thank you. I don't know even what I did to make that pop up. But yeah, only Mudkip is still with me, the Chihuahua. The other two are no longer with me. Yeah, they're gone. So yeah, uh, I won't talk too much, but I will stand up and model this. I made two of them, and I've taken this one apart so many times because I can't really decide how long I want these sleeves to be, the pockets, but they're exactly right for me. My fingers go right to the bottom edge of it. So I think that you can, I had not so much folded up, and it just was like so long I couldn't even reach down to the pocket. So I think that y'all are going to have to just measure your pocket shawl and decide how long you want it, and you can fold up as much or as little as you want and make it as long or as short as you want it. But this is the 6-day pocket shawl. Hopefully next week. I have a surgery next week, so that's why I'm being wishy-washy. But if you have to have the pocket shawl now, go sign up on Patreon for $5 a month, and you can have it. You can have it now. Otherwise, it'll be out sometime next weekend or early the following week, just depending on how I do with surgery and travel. So, yeah. All right, let's see. I have every single light in this room on right now, and this still looks dark, and I know that there are people that are going to not like my lighting, so let's just get right to it. I can switch this view on this. Nope. There we go. So I think we left off on, what row would this be? This would be row 4. So we're on row 5. I think the titles are incorrect. I think I need to go back and fix that. Yep, we're on the double crochet row. I see that we joined in the right place because we marked it here. and then we slip stitch in the next stitch. So this is just because we have those skips in the middle, and then chain 3. It counts as your first double crochet, and then on your first round you should have 9 double crochet. Let's see if I did it right. Hello, Zafira. Zafira, that's a beautiful name. I like unusual names. My kids are Teague and Maya. Those are my kids' names. When you're a dance teacher, I was a dance teacher for many, many years. And when you teach little girls how to dance, it's like you hear every little girl name that there is, and so you have all these associations. I imagine it's like the same way with teachers too, school teachers. Okay, so 5, these are my 3 center single crochet. This is the center one, and the top of it leans a little bit to the right. So it might not actually feel like you're working in the center, but trust me, you are. You're good, you got it. 5 double crochet in the top. How's your pocket shawl coming along, Erin? Are you making one? Don't tell me you're too busy to even crochet. This is row 5. Oh, I didn't count. See, this is how I think. I don't really count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, I did it. And then it's going to be 10 the rest of the way around. And I'll tell you, I don't count to the bottom. Yeah, it's fun to make. I want to make Robo's version next. Old Boiler Robo's version starts with the 6-day kid blanket scarf, so it goes the other way. But both pocket shawls use the straight start technique for the 6-day kid blanket, where you can, if you're a person that likes to square off your blankets, you can now use this formula to start the blanket straight and then build up your chevrons like that. Okay, so this is my trick. I don't count my stitches every time because I am lazy and I want to watch my show, my movie. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On all of the 6-day kid blanket star patterns and regular patterns, that last double crochet, if you look at this cluster down here, this grouping of 3, this last double crochet will always line up right up between the middle one and the third one, 2 rows down. That's all the blankets. So I don't count going down or up. So once I get there, I know I'm going to skip 2 and then I'm going to continue. And I've had this question before too, where people say, well, it's not even. Well, it all works out. It's not even, but it shifts over. It's just because we're going in a circle. But when you're all done, it will be straight. And so this is pretty much the star blanket, just repeats these rows. And if I hadn't written it the way I wrote it, like stop 2 stitches before the valley or stop 2 stitches, whatever, then you would have had counts and you'd have to be counting this whole blanket. And when it gets to be huge, You don't want to have to count to 40, 50 every time. That's not fun. Unless you like counting. Maybe some people like counting. I know Erin likes math. Do you like counting, Erin? Ten double crochet going down. You count until it gets too big. Okay, I'm there again. I did not count. I guess I'm just living on the edge, not counting. Crocheting and not counting. If I were editing this video, I would I would um I would speed it up at this point because it's just the same all the way around. 10 double crochet up, 5 in the top of the mountain, 2 in the valley, skip 2 in the valley. And I'm just reading my work and stopping right here every time. And then I skip 2. Oh wow, that would be amazing. You know, I think would be really wonderful is if we could take that chart that's on the 6-day kid blanket pattern and figure out the yardage for all those blankets given on the chart. Because I haven't made blankets in all those sizes. I just did the math for the swatch and the size and not the yardage. So I think that would be good, and then people wouldn't have to, you know, ask or wonder or have to do all the calculations themselves for the same thing over and over again. We get that question a lot in the group. How much yarn do I need? I guess with that, where that question's concerned, I'm pretty lazy too. I just buy extra. I just buy twice as much as what I think I'll need. Okay. There at the bottom, and then we skip 2. I'm an enabler. That's why I didn't put the yardage in the pattern, so that you can all go to the store and say, Betty McKnit said to buy at least twice as much as I think I might need. That's how I roll. I mean, I just have no shortage of yarn here. I shop my stash all the time. I have a lot of yarn from when I used to work at Michael's. I would just buy yarn, bring yarn home like every time, every day. They would come out with something new. Yes. Thank you, Facebook user. That was just, I think, the best news I've had in a long time. And I don't know how many of you were around back in July of last year when Red Heart released the Holiday Ripple Throw, and it looks exactly like the 6-day kid blanket. And you know, I got the stitches for the blanket out of a book, so it would be easy enough for anybody to also get those stitches out of a book and make a blanket with it, but I did it first. And I, you know, I think I wrote in my post, Betty McKnit is a one-hit wonder. You know, like so much of my business and my following is based on this pattern. So if someone's going to come along, a big company, and make a dent, you know, they're going to make a dent if they start promoting a very similar pattern. So last year I had, you know, I was in contact with Red Heart and asking them to, you know, remove that pattern, and then they were bought out by Yarnspirations, and then it just resurfaced again. The pattern just resurfaced again, but I don't think the Yarnspirations people were aware of what had, you know, what had happened between me and Red Heart the year before, and you know, one of my followers said something directly to Mikey, and then I ended up reaching out to Mikey directly in the crochet crowd, and he took care of it. And he said he was about to post the videos on his YouTube. That was the thing. I was like, if Mikey posts a video, no one's ever going to look at my videos again. I'm done. So he was just so gracious about it. So gracious. It's really a big win for me. I'm really grateful. That could have wiped me out. And you know, there's enough crochet to go around. We don't have to be like fighting with each other over followers. And there's my stopping point. I have one more to go. I guess I should count one. I'm going to skip 2. And then going up the mountain, it should be 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wasn't that boring? Now now 5 in the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I just have this little bit to go. I can take this out. This is not needed. Okay, so on the next round, we should have just one more, right? Is that right? Let me see, row 6. Yes. And then on each round after that, you're going to have 6 more. Then 6 more double crochets going up and down the mountain than you had the last time. So this time we had 10. There was 10 in between, and on the next round it'll start with 10 and then it goes to 11. So the next round will be 11, and then on the next repeat around it'll be 16 and 17, and the next repeat after that it'll be 22 and 23. So when you see those numbers in parenthesis, those numbers are telling you how many double crochet there's going to be on the next repeat of the pattern as you go around. So if you really want to count, the numbers are there for you, and if you want to make your blanket even bigger than the numbers I've given you, I don't remember how many I gave on the star. There's only 2 on the Superstar. You can just, you can just add 6 every time. So we're going to join in the top. Okay, I forget I don't have to do that with this kind of hook. I can use the pointy tip of the hook to get into my stitch. Slip stitch into the top. Let's set it down and admire it. I love the sharp corners. This yarn, Vanna's, just makes it makes such nice shapes. Okay, I'm going to cut this and change colors just so I can show you how I would change colors. So if I were not changing colors, at the beginning of the next row, I would slip stitch over to the point I want to start at, which would be this stitch here. I would want to start my double crochet right there. Okay, my first double crochet right there. But I'm going to pretend I'm changing colors, so this is what I do. I'm not going to change colors right here where I cut this off. I'm not going to add my new yarn there because this is already a weak point because I've cut the yarn and fastened off right there. So I already have one end. So let's just say I wanted to change colors every row on my star blanket. I don't want to have all the joins going up the same valley. So what I do is I rotate when I start a new color, and I start from a different valley. So I would have slip stitched over, I was here, I would have slip stitched over 1, so this is where I'm going to start my round. Okay, let me mark it. And I could go to any valley, right, and just go to the second double crochet from that bottom valley. Okay, and if I were changing colors every round, I would fasten off the yarn and I would shift over 1. So that way you don't have all your joins going up and they'll be less obvious. So I'm changing colors, and now I don't have to start here and join and then slip stitch over because I'm only slip stitching over at the beginning of the round because I'm not at the right, I'm joining here, but I'm not at the right starting place. So that slip stitch is just to get you over one stitch. So I don't have to slip. I don't have to join and then slip. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a slip knot on my hook, and I'm just gonna start with a standing double crochet. Okay, so you just have to hold it. You work it the same way. You just have to hold it against the hook so it doesn't unravel on you. Just have to hold on to it. And just remember, crochet and knitting are just loops on loops of yarn. Okay, so there's my standing double crochet. And then if I go back to the pattern, so this would be round 6, it says to make 10. This takes the place of the slip stitch and the chain up. So I don't have to chain up now. I can just start my double crochet. So I have 10 double crochet until I get to the 5 at the top of the mountain. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm there. I'm at the top. I'm in the center of the 5 double crochet. I'm going to make 5 double crochet in the center stitch. Okay, and then it'll be 11 to go down the side. How's everyone's weather this Friday morning? This row is going to take me a long time to get around. May as well talk. My son had come up the other day because we were talking about how the weather about a week ago just went from like being hot, 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 hot to like temperature drop. You know, like all of a sudden I'm bringing my plants in and it is fall. And my son came up and we were talking about the weather a little bit, and he's like, I feel like I should turn the heat on. And I was like, I am not going to take my AC out of the window yet. I'm going to leave it there because I just have a feeling. Feel like I remember having to pull it out of the closet last year after I had already put it away and set it back up because I was so hot and I couldn't stand it. And sure enough, it's like getting back up into the 80s today. Ridiculous. It's beautiful. It's beautiful out. $11 to go down. Sunny but windy in south of England. Having people from all over the world in this group and on this call, just it makes me miss traveling so much. Just, I don't know. And before COVID, whenever we would talk so much about coming to visit you all in different places around the world, and I still want to do all that, but geez, wow, COVID. Can't wait till it's over. Once again, I'm not counting. I just know I'm gonna skip these center two. That's the pattern. This is probably a terrible tutorial. Raining in Ephrata, Washington. Lots of rain. I mean, there is literally not a cloud in the sky here in New York today. I mean, it is beautiful. I'm definitely going to get outside today. Walk around out there. Maybe walk down to the river. I can see the Hudson River from this window. It's pretty awesome. Oh, thank you. I just grabbed whatever was. I have a box of. I use Vanna's Choice for a lot of designing and kid stuff, and it's good for just working something up for a video or a demo or a swatch. So I used it in my swatch videos, and I just find it's kind of easy to work with and to see on live. So I just grabbed the lightest colors. You're welcome to come visit. I have enough yarn for the both of us. Perfect. Perfect. Well, I already decided I'm going to drive blankets down to Orlando next year for um, the Snowball Express blanket thing. If they have, if it ends up not being canceled, I think it was canceled this year. I mean, I need to have someplace to go, and I'm traveling right now. All my vacations this year, vacations, like I take so many vacations a year, but like I have to drive to Georgia for surgery, and that's been like, I treat it like a vacation. It's crazy. It's crazy and weird. But I guess 2020, if there was ever a good time to have to drive across the country to have surgery 5 times, 2020 would be the year to do it, right? Our lives are in complete upheaval, anyways, so may as well upheaval a little more. Oh, good night, Erin. It was good catching up with you. Hope to see you soon on the lives and the Zooms. Hope life doesn't take you too far away from us. Erin's always available in the 6 Day Kid Blanket group to do your math for you. If you don't want to do it, she likes doing math because she is a crazy person. And these double crochet rows get pretty repetitive, but it should lay down nice and flat, and your corners and your points and your valleys should be, pretty crisp and even. If you have a valley that's like not, hello Norway, wow, Norway, I want to go to Norway now. If you have a valley that's a little bit flat, like at the join, you probably made a mistake. So just lay your work down and admire it all the time, and that gives you a chance to look it over and see if anything looks off, and that way you don't get too far along without noticing any mistakes you might have made. But always, always, always admire your work and say good things to yourself about it. Don't pick at yourself over mistakes. Yarn is very forgiving, you can, and I can tell you the yarn on that pocket shawl will probably, if it could talk, would tell you how many times it's had to forgive me. Because I ripped that thing out so many times. I'll just show you. It has how many repeats? It only has one repeat of rows, 2 to 7 of the 6-day kit blanket pattern. At one time, it had 3 repeats. So it was basically twice as wide as this, with a pocket, with edges, with everything, and I decided, nope, it's too wide. And so I ripped it all back, and I did one less repeat, finished the whole thing with pockets, with edging, everything, and decided, nope, I still don't like it, it's still too wide, and I ripped it all out again. And then last night, I was finishing up the edge on it, and I decided I didn't like the way the colors lined up, and I ripped that edge out one more time. I don't even know how many times I ripped that darn thing. And so you can always rip it out and redo it. Some yarn is more forgiving than others. Hi, Teresa. That roving was a little bit hard to pull out at times, but only because I had split it a little bit. Or have you guys ever done this where you crochet a piece of your hair into your work and then you go to rip it out and it's like it's held together by one of your hairs? So gross, I know. So I picked a lot of hair out of it as I was unraveling it. 1, 2, 5 in the top, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, I've got 11. Or dog hair. Still have dog hair from my other dogs and stuff. I wanted to give this blanket to my landlord, and it had my dog Jake was climbing into the basket and sleeping on it, so it had his fur on it. It smelled like him, and so I couldn't give it away. I had to make a whole new blanket for my landlord, and I let Mudkip have that blanket. It's a full adult-sized blanket, and I let him have it. It's sitting there, and I let him scratch it up and ball it up and do whatever he wants to it, because that was Jakey's. Okay, and this is where I join. This was my join from before, so I can just work right over it. And I just think it looks better to, to just, if you're changing colors, to join in a different spot. Don't keep joining always in the same spot, or it will, you know, it'll be obvious, or a little more obvious than if you didn't. Whew. These rows are taking super long now. So if you're doing a star or a supernova, they're still the same up to this point. The blankets are still the same. And this is row 6. We're going to repeat rows 2 to 6 for the supernova. And for the star, you're just going to, well, we're on row 6, so we still have to do row 7, but after row 7, you're just going to, for the star, you're just going to repeat rows 2 to 7 until your blanket is the size you want it to be. And then you work your edge. And you're done. For the supernova, you repeat rounds 2 to 6 once, and then we do something different. But up to this point, the star and the supernova are still the same. Oh, I forgot, I can just poke. Okay, I'm joining with a, wait a minute, what did I do? I want to join with a slip stitch. Okay, and round 6 starts with the chain 1 and a single crochet in the same space. And then before I do anything else, I'm going to mark that. So I know when I come back around, that's where I join. I'm not going to join here, that's my slip stitch. I'm not going to join here, that's my chain 1. I'm going to join here, and I'm not going to work single crochet into those. My last single crochet is going to be here, and then I'm going to jump over all those guys and join here. So that's the spot where people end up with extra stitches that they don't need. And so lay your work down and check it out and make sure you have it, that it's slanting in here, and if it's not, if it's flat, you might have made a mistake here. Thank you, Facebook user. She says she's going to do the supernova next. Hi, Courtney. Courtney's here, another Aussie up in the middle of the night. All right, I'm gonna do one more round of this, and then I'm gonna take off. But this is just a single crochet all the way around, and let me check, because 4 single crochet in the top. So each of these blankets has a different, slightly different on the single crochet rows with how many you put in the center stitch, and also the number of skips in the valley is different between the blankets. So if you're going to switch between star, superstar, supernova, those are some little details that you have to keep in mind. You just got home. Oh, wow. Hang on, let me take a drink of coffee here. Hi, Bev. I'm about to run out of pink yarn, too. So how many did I say? 4 in the center double crochet. Okay, Kathy, no worries. It'll be up on YouTube, so you can always come back to it. And when I get a minute, I'll go back and I'll do what I did with the other one and just go through and mark the time for the important parts so that people can fast forward. But this is such an easy, mindless row. I love this row. There's like almost no thinking, except for that center mountain stitch. I always have to check and make sure I'm doing the right one. Oh, I hope my new chair comes in while I'm away or soon, even before I leave, because my legs really hurt in this chair. Yeah. Gotta go feed the hungry small people. Bye, Shauna. When I come back, I'm going to do some more hats. I'm going to do some hat tutorials. Maybe over in Besties. If you are not aware, we are doing a hat, not really a hat challenge, but we have this one longtime member. Her name is Kathy Cooper Breyer, and when I published Maya's roommate's hat a couple of years ago, I don't even remember how long ago that's been, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't know. But when I published that, she was posting in our group that she was using the pattern to make, she sets herself a goal of 100 hats during the, at that time she was doing it during, I thought she was doing it during the month of October, but I think she has already started. But it's like a hat a day, or she goes up to 100 hats and then she donates them. So we have people over in Betty's Besties who are, making hats, and we're just sharing the different places that we like to donate. People have different places they like to donate to. Some of the like Operation Gratitude, their deadline was September or something, and Hat Not Hate, their deadline has also already passed. But I mean, some of these we can definitely work on hats for next year, or yeah, whatever. I'm still gonna try and make a bunch of hats in October, and hang on to some of them maybe for some of these other charity efforts, or just take them over to the shelter here in my town and just drop them off. Every time I take something over there, they're like really grateful. Don't forget, it's 4 in the top, not 3. I have to go back and check. These colors are really pretty together. This would make a really pretty baby blanket. Or some people take the blanket and they only work it this far. Shoo, excuse me. Shoo. And then they put the little amigurumi in the middle of it, like the little unicorn head or body or teddy bear or whatever. And this pattern, people have made really cute matching loveys to go with their blankets. I gotta feed. Okay, we already read that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a bin of yarn under my bed that is going to be the Hatopia yarn. I already have it. I'm already like, I already know. That's my goal, is to crochet up that entire bin of yarn in the month of October. I wanted to get a new bed, but I don't know where I would put my yarn if I don't have my space under the bed to put it. I'd love to get a bed that's lower to the ground too, so McKnit doesn't have to jump so high. Okay, this is round 7. Single crochet row, 4 in the top of the mountain, 2, 3, 4. It's getting mindless up in here. And so far the Star and the Supernova are the same, and they'll be the same for another, well, you're gonna, after this you're gonna repeat rounds 2 to 6, so another, what is that, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 rows. The star blanket, you just keep going, you just keep repeating. At this point the pattern's pretty well established. I remember when we first released the patterns and we had our 6-day challenge for it, and like the first couple of days, see you later, the first couple of days there were like all these questions about, mostly about row 5. We answered the same question over and over again for about a day, and then by the second or third day of the challenge there were no more questions, because once you get to this point in the blanket, it's just like, it's mindless. It's really mindless, and I don't know, in a good way. I love a good mindless project. So the Superstar blanket is the same up to row 8, then row 9 is different. You have another setup round 9. I forget how I wrote it exactly. I think it has more setup rounds, and then it has just repetitive rounds, just like what I'm doing here. The Star and the Superstar are the most repetitive and mindless. The Supernova is I think has, you know, more, a little more thinking that you have to do. So it's not quite as mindless. It's a little more interesting to do the Supernova pattern. And I don't think I've seen any other patterns like the Supernova that have the big points and the little points. So I feel like that pattern's kind of unique. Yeah, mindless projects are great for watching movies, watching shows. I've been watching the old Star Trek The Next Generation just to have something going in the background. Am I there already? Oh, I'm almost there already. Wow. felt that marker. I'm glad I put that there. It's still interesting, especially if you're using cake yarn. Yes. I don't know, it's really exciting to me when the cake yarn changes colors. I don't care what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. So here's where you might go a little, you know, you might go astray on this blanket if you don't know better. And so what you are going to do here is this is your last double crochet stitch right there, not this. So if you were working back and forth, the top of the double crochet would be over on this side. But since we're working in the round, it's over here. So this is your last double crochet. So don't join here. That's your join. That's your slip stitch. Don't join here. That's your chain one. Join to the first single crochet in the row. And if you don't do that, this valley will flatten out, and you'll be able to see that when you lay it down and admire it. See how I have a nice dip here? If you don't have a dip, then you probably added stitches in here, or, you know, if you made it past here. Hi, Heather. This looks really pretty. I love this pink and gray together. Maybe I'll do something with that. Okay, so that is, let me see, what did we do today? We did rounds. I think we just did 5, 6, and 7, right? We ended with 4 last time. So that is round 5, 6, and 7 of the 6-day Star and the 6-day Supernova blankets. And if you want to keep working on your Star, you just keep going, repeat, repeat, repeat. And if you want to make a Supernova, you do 2 through 6 again. And then come back. And I'll do the next, I'll start with round 7A at a later time, probably not until after I get back from Georgia. So that might be a while. But thank you all for being here on this beautiful Friday morning. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. Thanks for being here. Let me play my music.